Hey, good morning and welcome to the John DeVito Show. It's Thursday. We're almost there. It's almost the weekend. Thank God. One more day after today. I think we can do it. What do you guys think? We're ready to go today in the John DeVito Show. We're going to go after it today. Got some funny news that we're going to read and then talk about a couple subjects. I kind of liked my show yesterday talking about, what would you change about the world and things like that. So I've got some other topics that we're going to talk about. I've got some thought-provoking questions that we're going to throw out. And then we're going to get into a list, if I have time, talking about which countries have the largest and smallest penises in the world. So let's go. All right, let's get it going. We'll be back in a second. Welcome, Mike. All right, everybody. Welcome to the John DeVito Show. And the first person in the chat is the one, the only, the infamous, the incredible, the handsome, the well-spoken, the all-around good guy, Mike from Tampa Bay. So we're good to have him, Mike. Good to see you, brother. And I'm sure that a lot of you have been into his show. And for the people that download my show, I'm approaching, I think, 40,000 downloads. So that's pretty good, I think, for my show. I'm happy with it. And if you are listening to my show via download, make sure you get onto Podbean and look for Mike from Tampa Bay. Great show. He's a great guy, does a good job with the show, and you'll love it if you get in there. Certainly salt of the earth type of guy. So anyway, I'm just going to talk a little bit about family before I get into my show. And I think I've got a pretty good show today. I'm going to read off some funny news stories that I saw again. I'm really kind of into this right now. Then we're going to have some thought-provoking questions that I've kind of been thinking about, and hopefully we can get a discussion as this chat fills up. And then we are going to go off the rails and just be like a 5-year-old child. And I'm going to list off the countries in the world that, number one, have the smallest average penis size, and then the countries that have the largest average penis size across the world. Now, my question with the whole penis size question is, and I'll mention this later, how do they know? How do they know? Is there some guy that has to go around and measure penises, and there's DOS coming in right at the right time, right? How do you know? I mean, honest to God, is there like a guy that they elect as the penis measure guy in these countries when they're taking the average penis size of people in different countries? So we're going to get to that a little bit later. We're going to warm the show up first before you're just in time, but we're going to go off the rails a little bit and talk about the countries that have men with the smallest penis sizes and then men with the largest penis sizes. And I can't let any of them go yet. You got to wait and hear it. So, right, Doss knows, man, his ears were ringing. So before I get into the meat of the show, yesterday I had a good day. I was able to finally see my son, Matt. Matt, as you all know, went off to college. He's my 18-year-old son, first in my family to leave. And it hasn't been easy. We do miss the big guy, the big lug. But he's the guy that's got some challenges. He's overcome a lot in his life. And I had to take him to the dentist yesterday to get 3 cavities drilled. But I got to spend a couple hours with him, and it was just good to see him. He's so happy. And it was kind of a funny story. A lot of you know he's on the autism spectrum. And when Matt has something on his mind, he just talks about it and talks about it and talks about it and talks about it. And geez, that kind of sounds like me a little bit. Maybe I'm on the autism spectrum. I probably am. Who knows? I know there's something wrong with me. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it could be that. But anyway, he was talking to me in the waiting room about boxing. He's into right now talking about old boxers because he's actually boxed for like 9 years. So he loves Sonny Liston. He compares the life and the career of Sonny Liston, comparing him to Mike Tyson, which guy was the tougher guy, which guy had the toughest upbringing, all that good stuff. And he's been trying to convince me for like a month now that Sonny Liston was a tougher guy than Mike Tyson, and he's starting to win the battle with me. But anyway, he's talking about Sonny Liston in the waiting room, and then he goes in to literally get 3 cavities filled. Okay. Hey, Jess, Eric, welcome to the show. So he goes in to get his cavities filled. Wow. Everybody coming in. Mr. T, Hoff, J Baby. And let me do a recap. I'm going to kind of tell you guys what we're doing today. Got some thought-provoking questions coming up today. We had a good discussion yesterday about, what would you do if there was one thing, if you could change the world, what would it be? If there was one thing you could change about yourself, what would it be? I have more questions I'm going to ask today, some really good ones as we get into the show. I'm talking about Matt right now. And we're going to do some funny news today. And then we're also going to get into a kind of a funny topic later in the show where we're going to be talking about which countries have the smallest average penis size and the largest average penis size. I looked up some lists, and the question I had earlier that I posed for everybody, how do they know who's telling the truth? I mean, is there literally a guy that goes around and measure penis sizes? I mean, could you imagine being that guy? All right, here I am in Bolivia. All right, everyone drop your pants. We need 200 people. We're going to measure your penises. But first, you have to get them erect. I'm not sure I want that job, but we're going to get into that later. So hang in there. We're going to do the family-friendly stuff first and then get to that. Right, just take my word for it. Of course, you know every man lies about their penis size, right? And Spanky and Beans, they're into the show now. They don't have to lie about their penis size because we both know that they are both, hung like moose. And, it's good to have them both. So, yeah, just fill out this form. Be honest. You know every man adds like at least 2 inches, right? Hung like a hamster. I am too. I'm hung like a gerbil, but I lie like you wouldn't believe. So anyway, back to the story about my son Matt before we get into the show, and then that funny list later. Hey, Snow Pro, welcome to the show. So anyway, I saw my son Matt, and we were in the waiting room at the dentist. And as I was saying, he's into boxing, and Matt has autism. And oh my God, when there's a subject he wants to talk about, he'll talk about it for a month straight, and it's just like one constant sentence. So he's telling me all about Sonny Liston in the dentist waiting room yesterday, right? He's talking about how he was tougher than Tyson, great fighter, terrible upbringing. His father was abusive, on and on and on. So Matt goes in to the dentist finally. They call him in mid-story. And he goes in, and he's in there for like a good 45 minutes. He had to have 3 cavities filled yesterday. So he was in there. I'm on my phone doing work, whatever, just waiting for him. So 45 minutes later, the dentist brings him back out. He walks right up to me and goes right back into the same story, talking about Sonny Liston and boxing like he hadn't even missed a beat. It was absolutely hysterical. That's what we love about my son. So it's just really, really funny. Oh, yeah, Doss is great. Man, I'll tell you, I love the people that come into my show, all of you. I feel like all of you are friends. I wish I could meet all of you. I mean, except for Cummings. He's kind of a douchebag, but he's not here yet. Oh shit! I just saw that he came in. But you know how they do it down in Alabama. But no, I really feel like I love all of you guys. I mean, you're great people. The old man, Dina Joe, the culture they put across in their show. I wish I could be literally more like the old man show. I love his show. It's not really, I've tried to do those type of shows. I'm not as good at those. So I try to combine a little bit of humor and some fun and, talk about my family a little bit. But before we get into what everyone's waiting for, the countries that have the largest penis size in the world and the countries that have the average smallest penis size in the world, we're going to get into some funny news stories that I've been reading. I've been reading these lately, and they completely crack me up. Now, did you see, Facebook? Now, the country that is blocking everybody, and keep in mind now, when I'm reading these, I'm on a separate page, so I can't see any of your comments. I'll see them when I come back, all right? So Facebook, they censor everybody. They blocked me like 1,000 times. I've been in Facebook jail. So I finally dumped my account, and I have like a little side account that I use just for work. I think I've got like 6 friends on it, and I need that to monitor work Facebook pages. But I'm off Facebook completely. But here we go now. Facebook. This is awful, but it's a great one. Facebook apologizes after its AI labels black men as primates. So there we go, Facebook. You got Mark Zuckerberg, who is all over me every time I type something that might be conservative or might not be what Facebook deems to be socially acceptable in today's world. But their AI goes out and makes an absolutely huge blunder and basically classifies black men as primates. I mean, good God, Zuckerberg, really? This is the best you can do? You moron. I cannot stand Facebook. I don't like Zuckerberg at all. And this is just a huge gaffe. And hopefully Facebook gets this shit together because, again, we can't be doing those type of things in 2021, especially to the Democratic Party, right? Because we have to be PC, and they can say all they want that was a mistake. But again, that is a huge, huge, huge blunder. So I thought that was kind of funny. And let's see. So we have, I think it's in the month of October. Maybe we have a Friday the 13th coming up. We have another Friday the 13th, I think, coming up sometime later in the year. Maybe it's October, maybe later on. But now, does anyone know what type of phobia it's called if you are afraid of Friday the 13th? This is kind of another funny story. I may have to literally cut and paste this because I don't think I can read this. But if you are afraid of Friday the 13th, let me see if I can do this. I'm on the other page. I just clicked on it. This is crazy. If anyone can pronounce this, I'm copying and pasting this now. if I can get it to work because I'm a fucking boomer and I don't know how to do anything with technology. So let's see. Oh, there we go. Right click, not left click, John. Come on. All right, here we go. This is the word. All right. So if you are literally afraid of Friday the 13th, there is literally a phobia for that. And this is what the phobia is. All right. So if anybody can read this and pronounce this, you win the gold star today. I'm going to try it, but I have no idea how to even begin to pronounce this word. But I mean, honestly, who isn't afraid of Friday the 13th? I mean, after the movies and all these different things that we've seen. And Hoff, I see you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to everybody comes in. Mr. A, welcome. Lil, welcome to the show. So, all right. So, paracavida triophia. What the fuck? I mean, I have no idea what that says. But now that you know, there is a phobia that is associated with Friday the 13th. So let's see. Cummings' culture. It's just another day, you pansies. Pansies. Now, dude, see, you, Cummings, you are an old soul. You really are. I mean, pansies is like a good 70s word, 80s word, and you're coming out with pansies. I mean, that kind of impresses me. So I've always thought that you were kind of an old soul. You're a young man, but really, I've seen your TikTok videos where you're grandpa, and I think that is kind of like your little alter ego. I think really down at heart, you are kind of, a grandpa more than anything else. Now, another funny story that I saw, this is a national story. Now, we talked about the cows the last few days. Do you remember a couple days back, there was a story about scientists trying to potty train cows, and 11 out of the 15 cows were actually successfully potty trained, which to me is fucking amazing. I couldn't potty train my kids for like 3 years. I thought my 18-year-old son was going to be shitting in his pants when he dropped him off for college. It was that bad. But apparently now, we also saw there was a cow in the back seat of a car going through a drive-through at a local fast food place. So here, apparently there's a story about a giant rat has won free speech rights. So I got to click on this and kind of read about what this is. Ooh, and I didn't even mean to do that. My hand hit the board accidentally. Another boomer move, even though I'm a Gen Xer. I got to call them Gen X moves so people don't really think I'm a boomer. So here we go. There's apparently a giant 12-foot rat. It's an inflatable rat named Scabby. I can't believe this is news, but A.C. Wartzberg, an organizer from the International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 150, and a couple of construction workers are protesting on a sidewalk in Chicago in late July. They're flanked by a 12-foot inflatable rat named Scabby. It has pointy teeth, red eyes, and depictions of oozing, pus-filled scabs on its belly. That's awesome. According to a recent decision from the National Labor Relations Board, this giant rat and its brethren from across the country now have free speech rights too. Now, I'm not sure how an inflatable rat speaks. Maybe if you tape something to his chest, I don't know. But giant inflatable rats have been used for decades as widely recognized symbols of a labor dispute. But last year, the board signaled it could be persuaded to outlaw their use in certain situations. So, you got a labor problem. People are on strike and they're putting up a big inflatable rat. Let's ban the rats. Let's ban the rats. Let's, those are going to end up being canceled also. Ban the rats, get rid of them. But now they have been given the opportunity to have free speech rights. So way to go. That's great news and unbelievable. It's just some of the stupid things that happen in this country drive me crazy. So everybody, welcome for coming in. If anyone here is new, please follow me. Please share my live. I've got some thought-provoking questions coming up that I want to ask some of you some opinions on. So hopefully you hang with me for those. Yesterday we had a talk about if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be? If any of you missed my show today, I'd love to see your comments in the chat. And if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? You could put that in the chat also. But I've got some others I'm going to add today that I think are pretty good. And after we mention a couple of real news stories, then we're going to get into that true important discussion about penis size across the world. So bear with me for that. But now, has anyone seen what's happening with Nicki Minaj by any chance? I mean, I am not a fan of Nicki Minaj. The only reason I even knew who Nicki Minaj was is because a few of my boys, my sons, were obsessed because apparently she has a big ass. So I don't even know who she is really. I know she's a rapper and all that good stuff, but whatever. And I see Cummings saying she is a stupid hoe. So I guess I'll just say it. So anyway, apparently her friend's cousin got one of the vaccines. And this isn't the part that concerns me, but the friend's cousin got a vaccine, got one of the COVID vaccines, and apparently it enlarged his testicles. Now, when I took the COVID vaccine, I was hoping it would enlarge my penis because, as my wife told me, I'm completely inadequate and tiny. So I was hoping that maybe I would go from, 3 inches to 5 inches, and I'm still waiting on that to happen. But who knows? Maybe someday. But anyway, the issue is apparently she is a Democrat. She is liberal. She's African American. She's part of that whole left movement, right? Hey, Axel Jackson, welcome to the show, and welcome to everybody coming in. But she's part of this whole movement, and apparently now the mainstream media, you know how they bash everybody, they look to cancel, they look to discredit, they look to embarrass everybody. Oh, Crazy Kane, hold on a second, my brother. Let me pause this. You know me, John DeVito with ADHD. Crazy Kane's in the house. And there it goes, the Crazy Kane laugh. What's up, my brother? All right. So anyway, the mainstream media now is attacking one of their own. They are going after Nicki Minaj. They are gaslighting her. They are telling everybody that she's crazy, that she's insane, that she's mentally unstable, and they are literally ripping her apart. One of the things I did like about Nicki Minaj's comments is she said there are a lot of celebrities out there that think just like she does, that do not believe in what this administration's doing. They do not believe in this president, but they're all afraid to say it because they know that the mainstream media will bury them. And another example of this, before we get into the meat of the show, is the Arizona Audit. You may think it's stupid, and maybe it is. I have no idea. I'm not here to debate that. I'm not here to judge it. But I've never seen the mainstream media completely bash something before it even comes out. I mean, it's been like a 3-month attempt to completely discredit the audit before it even comes out. I mean, for me, people made claims that Hillary Clinton was cheated out of the election by Donald Trump. And now people are claiming that Joe Biden cheated Donald Trump out of the election. You would think if there's cheating in this country, we would want to know, right? I mean, Hillary Clinton maybe should have been president, and Donald Trump maybe should have been president the second time around. But if there's cheating in the elections, we need to know, or there's no, basically anything. I mean, the whole country, I'm starting to sound like Joe Biden now, there's nothing, I mean, that thing, but I mean, there's no honesty in the system if we can't trust the elections, right? So it's just kind of crazy stuff. So anyway, Nicki Minaj is under fire. And honestly, I saw Candace Owens speak about it last night on Instagram, and she's defending Nicki Minaj. Get on and follow this if you haven't seen it. I mean, she made a comment. She didn't make any accusations that this is something that's going to happen to anybody. And now the mainstream media is out to destroy her. This, honestly, if you're a Republican, could be a good thing for the Republican Party, because I think some of the left are starting to see how the mainstream media and the politicians are out to completely control us right now. So I don't know, man. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. All right, so let me go back to another kind of funny story. I saw a few in here that I want to talk about, and then we're going to get to some other stuff. So bear with me. If you guys have any questions, feel free. I would love to hear from you. If you have any comments, put them in the chat, and I'm going to open up the phone lines in a little bit. So this is kind of cool. Now, I don't know if there are any, this isn't really a funny story, but apparently the gun that killed outlaw Billy the Kid is going up for auction. Imagine that. I mean, I'm kind of a history buff, and that is kind of a cool thing. So this is like an iconic piece of the Wild West is going up for sale. And the gun that supposedly killed Billy the Kid is going up for $2 million. So if you've got $2 million, that's the starting bid for this gun. And there was some question as to whether or not Billy the Kid was actually killed by the authorities, because he had a very good friendship with the officer or the marshal that supposedly killed him. So, but pretty cool. I mean, you could literally, if you had the money, you could go out and buy Billy the Kid's gun and put it in your collection, which I think is awesome. It might bore some of you, but I think it's cool as hell. So there's a lake in Minnesota that has a problem. Oversized goldfish are taking over the lake, and they're causing issues for the local fish. Apparently, for whatever reason, in this lake, they have giant goldfish, and there's a picture of a person holding one of these goldfish. It takes both hands to hold this thing up. It must be at least a foot and a half long, kind of like Cummings, and it's just a giant goldfish that is in these Minnesota lakes, and apparently they are taking over the lake. So I don't know who decided to release goldfish in this thing, and it's just kind of crazy that they have goldfish that are that big in the lake. All right, here's the final story I want to read, and we're going to get to some other stuff. Now, there's a picture of this sea creature. It looks like a sea urchin. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but apparently the name of this sea creature type of thing is called the anus, believe it or not. So apparently, let me click on the story. I got to read this one. This one's pretty funny. So, and if you see this thing, it looks almost like a starfish or it looks like some type of sea urchin, but it literally has a part of its body. I don't know if that's supposed to be his head, but it looks just like an anus. So here we go. You ready? And take this however you want. The anus is an evolutionary marvel, but how and when did this organ evolve, and what is it today? I don't even know if I can read this whole thing. Today on Shortwave, Maddie tries to get to the bottom of these questions with the Atlantic science writer Catherine Wu. So good for Catherine. Catherine Wu went to college, probably has her doctorate in Harvard. And what is she doing? She is studying the anus. And apparently, reading here, the anus is a sea cucumber. So, oh my God. So really, we're going to talk about cucumbers and the anus. I'm not sure if really that's even appropriate, but if you haven't seen one of these things, Google a sea cucumber, and it's called the anus. And now that they've mentioned sea cucumber and anus in the same phrase, I'm kind of done with that. I can't do any more on that. So anyway, Captain Wilberforce, I'm back on my page. Welcome to the show. J Baby, Mr. A, welcome to everybody. Now, you know what? I've been waiting. I'm not going to wait any longer. Let me find that list. I've got the thought-provoking questions. I'm going to leave those for after. We're going to jump right into penis size. So let me find it really quickly. I got to scroll back on my page. Hold on. Where is it? Come on, penis size. Where are you? Come on. It's kind of funny. And actually, some of the countries on the penis size list actually surprised me a little bit. They were not the ones maybe I expected, And it's funny. Some of the smaller ones are pretty damn small, and some of those countries are, surprisingly also. Like I think the U.S. was down on the bottom, and I think that's because the guys like Cummings kind of bring that size down. So let's see here. All right, average penis size by country. Hold on. Okay, I think I found it. All right, I lost it in my phone, and I think I just found it. Let's see. And actually, it's funny. I just typed on penis size, and a picture of Joe Biden popped up first. So we all know that Joe Biden is probably smaller than the average person. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to start. Let's start with the countries. Now, ladies, if you like small penises and you're looking to go on vacation, these are probably not the countries for you. If you don't like the tiny ones, you might want to stay away from here. I mean, some of these are pretty nice countries, and actually, I think most of these can be predicted. Okay, so here we go. Ready? The smallest average penis size in the world is in the country of Cambodia, where the average, now this is not small, this is the average, is 3.95 inches when erect. That's for the people in other countries, that's 10.04 centimeters. Next up on that list, we have Burma, where the average penis size is 4.21 inches, and that's 10.70 centimeters. Taiwan, the penis size average there, erect, is 4.24 inches, 10.78 centimeters. Then we move on to the Philippines. The Philippines average out at 4.27, and the average size in centimeters is 10.85. You know what? Honestly, I'm thinking about this right now. I'm moving to one of these countries. If I move to one of these countries, I will be a god. I will be a god. I will be in porn movies. I will be probably the largest guy in the country. And I could never, ever claim that here in the United States. So that's a good one. Nipple length. I got to look that up too. But I'm moving. I'm moving to one of these countries. And I mean, I don't know. It might be intimidating for the ladies there, but hey, when I bring my average American penis over to another country, I'm going to be huge there. All right. So moving ahead, we were at the Philippines, and we're moving on to Sri Lanka, 4.29 inches. And that is an average in Europe of 10.89 centimeters. Hong Kong, average erect penis size of 4.41 inches. And again, that's 11.19 centimeters. Now, if you notice, most of these countries in Asia, and I remember Eddie Murphy doing a comedy routine back in the 80s, 90s, talking about penis size and how Asian men generally have tiny penises. This study has kind of proven that to be true. And I remember him always saying, I'm not saying they're broken, they're functional, they work, they're just small. So, all right, so we got past Hong Kong, 4.41 inches. They're tied with Bangladesh, 4.41 inches. Thailand, 4.51 inches. Vietnam, 4.52 inches. And then rounding up the bottom countries in penis size, Malaysia at 4.52 inches. Now, I'm going to say this again, all right? How do they know? I mean, I saw a few people mention this earlier. Do they hand out forms? Do you fill out like a Google Doc? The government sends it out. How large is your penis when erect? Or do they actually have a person that goes out and measures penises? I mean, could you imagine that job? You have to go out, and if it's a study of erect penises, they first have to get erect. So do you give them a magazine? Do you give them your phone and let them look on Pornhub? Do you have like a woman with you that maybe gets nude. And if they're gay, you might have to have a man with you to get nude. But I'm not sure who would ever want the job of actually measuring penises. I mean, it wouldn't be me because I don't like penises, but I don't know. Maybe it's someone that, likes men. Maybe that would be a job for them. I don't know. But all right, now let's move. Now, ladies or men, if you're going to a country on vacation and you're looking to get it on, all right, now we're going to be talking about the countries of the world that have the men with the largest average penis size with an erection. All right. We're going to start at the bottom and work our way to the top. And I will admit, the country in the top surprised me. Okay. It really did. I did not expect this. And you came in at the right time, Area 81. So, and then I'm going to ask all of you, once I'm done, the men especially, to tell me your penis sizes. And when you do that, I want the women in here, if there's any left after I'm doing the show, then they could tell us how much each of the men in the show are lying about their penis sizes. All right. Because, as you know, we all add a couple inches. So, all right. On the list of the largest penis sizes across the world, the country of Zambia comes in at 6.21 inches average. Moving up the list, we go on to Cuba. Cuba has an average penis size of 6.25 inches, and that's 15.87 centimeters. Moving up now into Europe, this one actually kind of surprised me a little bit, and this explains it to me. The Netherlands, Amsterdam, that area, they have an average penis size of 6.25 inches when erect. That's 15.87 centimeters. Now, I've been to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, okay? And I have to say, I've traveled a lot around the U.S. I've been to California. I've been to Paris. I've been to Amsterdam. I've traveled a lot in my life. And I have to say that the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life congregated in one place was in Amsterdam. Just models on like every corner. They were everywhere, riding their bicycles around. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women. Now we know why. These beautiful women knew where the large penises were, and they came to Amsterdam looking to, I don't know, do whatever, I guess. I don't even know how to take it from there. But all right, so there we go. So the Netherlands gets on the list. They're doing pretty well. Now, Gambia is, I think, a country in Africa, I believe, checking my old world geography. They have an average erect penis size of 6.25 inches. That's 15.88 centimeters. Senegal, if anyone knows where that is, I don't even know where it is. Never heard of it before. Senegal has an average penis size of 6.26 inches. That's 15.89 centimeters. Right. I'm telling you. I mean, every man says they have like 8 inches. All right. And we're seeing the average largest sizes in this world are in the 6-inch range. So, and, have I ever lied about the size of my penis? Of course not. Of course not. I would have never have done that. No, I always add. I mean, you have to, and of course, I'm sure, my wife, who is a doctor and has made it through medical school and knows everything about the human body, it's amazing. I just assume she doesn't know how to measure in inches. So, all men lie. So anyway, moving up the list, Haiti has made the list. And in Haiti, the men have an average penis size of 6.3 inches. That's 16.01 centimeters for all you European metric people out there. And, regarding that, man, when I was in school, in elementary school, they told me by the time I was old, we'd be using the metric system in this country. They fucking lied. I mean, we're not using the metric system. We're still using inches. I have to translate when someone tells me the temperature of their country in Celsius. I have to translate it to Fahrenheit. So I don't know. And, this is a good time right now. I'm doing a show and I'm talking about average penis size across the world. And my daughter just came into my office to print something for school. So, Caitlin, how are you? You want to say hello or are you just giving me a dirty look? I know. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry for corrupting your ears. Russia is not on the list. They are not here. Oh, maybe Senegal. Is that where it is? It could be. I don't know where Senegal is. All right. Moving up the list. We are in the top 5, baby. And I would have expected, actually, the top 4. So we're in the final 4. And honestly, I would have expected bigger. I really would have expected bigger. In Sudan, that's in Africa, the average penis size, 6.4 inches, 4.8 inches erect. So that's about 6.5 inches. That's 16.47 centimeters. Moving up the list, I think we are looking at, now this one surprises me. Third on the list is Bolivia. So in Bolivia, the average penis size is 6.5 inches erect, and that is 16.51 centimeters, man. Now that I see this, I mean, I'm not stacking up that bad. I'm not doing that bad. You always have questions as to where you stack up in the world. And if this list is accurate, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing okay. All right, now we are going into number 2. So we're at the final 2. Anybody want to take any guesses? Countries with the top 2 penis size in the world. Where would it be? Would it be in the United States? Do I see Madagascar? That's a good one. I like that. I mean, where are we thinking? So I want to see some guesses in here. Are we thinking France? Are we thinking England? Definitely not Ireland. We know they're out. But I mean, how about, countries in the Southern Hemisphere? How about Saudi Arabia? That's a good guess. Anybody else? Any other guesses? These are going to be tough. I'll give you a hint right now. The number 1 on the list is in South America. Okay. So if you're thinking number 1 that's in South America, oh, yes, the women in France are absolutely beautiful. You are so correct. Brazil, good guess. Brazil, a lot of good guesses. Chile. Well, they can't be big in Chile. It's cold in Chile. Am I wrong? Or is that just, I don't know. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm in one of those moods today. I think I forgot to take my medication this morning. So no, it is not Chile. It is not Colombia. Good guesses for everybody. And all right, we're going to get to it. So let's see. Rounding third, like the show. Thank you, my brother. Puerto Rico, good guess. Well, I did hear that the men in Puerto Rico do have large penises. And that's good because they're going to become the 51st state of the United States. And that'll help maybe boost our average a little bit, which is a good thing. We got to get the Irish out, though. Send them back to their countries. Get them the fuck out of here because they're bringing the whole thing down. All right, number 2 on the list. Are you ready? From Africa, Cameroon, where the average penis size, and I swear I thought this would be bigger, 6.56 inches while erect at 16.67 centimeters. All right. So, and the largest, wait, do I have a drum roll? Let me see if I look. I gotta see if I have something. Here we go. Ready? There we go. There's the drum roll. All right, ladies, if you're looking to travel, if you're looking to go on vacation and you want to have a cheap, quick affair with a man of immense proportions, the place to go is Ecuador. So congratulations to Ecuador for having the largest penises in the world on average. I guess we got to give them a little applause, a little applause. But again, 6.93 inches is the average in Ecuador, which is 17.61 centimeters. So for all of you men out there and for the ladies that are in here, if your man's saying to you, I'm 8 inches, I'm 10 inches, there's probably a pretty good chance they're fucking lying. All right. I mean, again, if you have a man with a 10-inch penis, he doesn't have to friggin' tell you. But again, I'd still like to know how they come to these sizes. I mean, if someone sends me something and I need to fill out my penis size, I'm lying. I'm not going to tell the truth. I'm going to add some size to that bad boy. I got to represent my people. I got to do what's right. For my wife and my family. I mean, I can't embarrass myself by saying that I have, a true 4-incher. I have to kind of boost that up to at least 5 or 6. So, those are one of those things that I worry about and think about quite a bit. I don't know. So from middle finger to just past the wrist is my preferred penis size. Okay. Yeah. That's a good size penis. So women, if we have any women in here, we've got Cubella in here. I'd kind of like to know, honestly, for women that are in here, do you like big penises? Do you prefer middle size, or do you prefer something that you may find in some of those smaller countries that we talked about? I mean, we know, Mike from Tampa Bay, he brings the average up, obviously, in the United States. So, okay, so Cubella likes medium to large. That's good to know. Got to know how to use it. Yeah, that's true too. And man, I've always heard the whole thing, it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. But again, as I think someone said yesterday, but if you're in a rowboat, it takes a lot longer to get there, right? So you got to be careful. I knew it, Snow Pro. I knew it. You definitely, I saw that the average in your area of Maine was quite a bit larger than in other parts of Maine. And I figured that was probably because of you that you brought that up. So anyway, hopefully you guys like that segment of the show. I thought it'd be funny. It's good to laugh on a Thursday a little bit. I read that and kind of went back and forth. I was actually going to do it yesterday, decided against it, and then decided to do it today. So let me see if I can find the other thing I was going to talk about. Let's see. I hope I didn't lose it. Give me 1 second. Hey, my son Matt's up for another movie while I'm looking for this story. My son Matt, who is in college, he put in for, apparently they're filming Hocus Pocus. I don't even know what the hell that is, but they're filming Hocus Pocus in Rhode Island coming up in the next couple of months. So his name is there, and hopefully we will, maybe get him into that and he'll have another movie. Let's see. I see Tuddles. My wife is an ex-porn star, and I imagine to take care of business. So without it, I say I'm doing pretty good. Now, Tuddles, you're joking, right? Or is that the truth? I mean, I'll tell you, there's some porn stars out there. Of course, I've never been on Pornhub, but there are some porn stars out there that I've certainly have my favorites. That's awesome. You're not joking, dude. I want to interview you about that. I want to hear about your wife being a porn star. That's amazing. And how did you meet her? That's cool. I totally. That's outstanding. You are now my new idol, Tunnels. That's absolutely amazing. That is so cool. Oh my god, I've got to hear that story sometime. So maybe at some point, if you want to call in now, dude, call in if you're available and tell us the story. I don't know if you've told it on other shows. I haven't been on in a while, but if you want to tell the story about how you met your wife and how it feels to kind of be with a woman that's got a little bit of experience that knows what she's doing, that must be pretty amazing. But again, if you're holding your own, you must be doing pretty well. So hats off to you, my brother. That is outstanding. Would that not be great? I would love to have Tunnels call in. So Tunnels, if you're available, brother, I don't want to put pressure on you. Don't feel like you have to if you don't want to. But if you have AirPods or whatever and you want to call in, I will accept that call immediately. And I want to hear that story. So Mike from Tampa Bay, what now, Mike? I was mad about that yesterday. I saw you in the show and you were calling Tuddles Cuddles. I thought you and I had something special. We've talked, and I've got to tell you, I feel like that I've been kind of, let down by you a little bit, so I know it rhymes, but I did feel I was a little bit jealous. I felt that maybe you were stepping out on me. So let's see. I see Tuttle saying he had had a few teeth removed. My son had 3 cavities drilled yesterday. He was in a lot of pain last night. You are a monogamist. That's all right. I am too. I don't have any upside down pineapples in my house. Of course, I might buy shorts and a shirt and even like shoes with all upside down pineapples and just wear them out and see what happens. I'm kind of curious to see if I have any people approach me looking to swing, which would be kind of funny. So anyway, let's move this on to the next segment. And I've got a few questions that I thought would, this is kind of changing the whole tone of the show. So bear with me. We can still go back to penis size if we want to. But I was reading these things, and this made me think about yesterday a little bit. I'll tell you about that in a second, Q Bella. Actually, before I move on to this new list, let me answer that question. I didn't know what that meant. So recently, I found out that apparently, if you have a pineapple or an upside down pineapple, or you see someone wearing clothes with pineapples or upside down pineapples, it means they're out and they're swingers. And especially if they have an upside down pineapple, they are swingers and they are looking for action. Look it up on the internet, Google it. It was funny. I saw a TikTok video of this couple who was camping someplace, and they were talking about how, man, the couple next door to us was so nice. They were so friendly. They kept coming over. They wanted to have drinks with us. They wanted to hang out by the campfire. And on the last day of their camping trip, they noticed that they had a pineapple set up on their picnic table in front of the camper. So they were swingers. They were looking to move. So apparently, I mean, if you have any clothes with pineapples on them and you wear them out and you're getting a lot of extended attention from people, that is why. That is the international symbol, kind of like a rainbow flag for people that may be gay. The pineapple and the upside down pineapple is the international sign for swingers. And if it's upside down, they're looking to play. So just beware. So, hey, if you're into it, go buy some pineapple clothes and wear them out and see what happens. Right? I just thought that was funny. So anyway, that's what the pineapple stands for. So anyway, some thought-provoking questions. I hope some of you guys participate and answer some of these for me. I'm just kind of curious. I've got a few of these, and they're kind of cool questions to make you kind of reflect about yourself a little bit and think about yourself. But I guess the first question I ask, I'm only going to ask a couple of these, but in life, where are you finding the most meaning? And I'm kind of curious to hear different people talk about this, but in your life, you have, some people have families, some people are single, some people don't want to get married. And I see Tuttle's already saying raising his kids, he finds the most meaning. I've been thinking about it also. So Mike from Tampa Bay, music, that's a good one. Flying ham, wearing a pineapple shirt, apparently it says. I'm just kidding. You're going to have to get a pineapple shirt. I might do it too, honestly, just for the hell of it, to see what happens. But Mike for Tampa Bay talks about music and his daughter. I would say the same thing. I've had a lot of interests over the years. I mean, I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to be a football player. I wanted to be a movie star. None of those things happened. I wanted to be a radio DJ. And for me, I think probably the one thing that is the most important to me is my family. My family, my kids. They really do have the most meaning for me. And Talk Hard, I see you saying that you've been lost a while now, and I'm sorry to hear that. But just so you know, Talk Hard, I've been there. I was lost through most of my 20s. I really was. I mean, I had certain plans for my life. I thought I was going to be an athlete. I played football in college. My career ended there. I was never a great student. So, no, but talk hard. You say that. Okay, you're 35, right? I got married at 33. I met my wife when I turned 30. All right. I got married at 33. We did not have our first child until I was 35. My last child, Brandon, who is now 12, we had when I was 41. So I get it. It's hard. It's frustrating. But a lot of the good things that have been happening to me, and you never know. You've been divorced for 10 years, and that sucks. But again, and I don't want this to come across as being weird. Please don't take it this way. I'm a happily married guy, love my family, love my children. But I've seen pictures of you. I think I follow you on Instagram. You're beautiful. You're obviously an intelligent woman. You may have to wait a little bit to find that right person, but I firmly believe the right person's out there if you're looking and if you want that, and you're going to find that person. And when you find that person, it's going to be beautiful, and you are going to feel, like the wait was worth it. Because I've been there in my life where I've had those periods of time where you're just wondering what the hell's going on in my life. When am I going to get things together? When, I'm trying to do the right things. When am I going to get the things that I really want in life? And it's hard sometimes because you can't really see the plan. And I'm not trying to get like all religious or anything, but I do believe that, it does happen. Now, see, Tuttle's, that's what happened to me now. You're 10 years older than your wife. I'm 7 years older than my wife, and the same type of thing. When I met her, I thought she was too young for me. Now I see Doss is in the show. Now, Doss, why are you leaving me? I know you're out there surfing around, looking for something better. You leave my show. We got the whole New England connection going, and you leave me. So, all right, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I'm just kidding. I'm glad you came back. So, anyway, I would say that the thing that means the most to me is my family. But as I get older, and I'm really starting to think about the next round of my life. And I don't know, it's just guys. So yeah, I know you work for a living. I hear you, brother. I know I'm doing my job and this is my work break during the day, but I hear you, man. Some people actually have to work during the day. So anyway, that's one of the questions I had. So, what are you finding the most meaning in life? And this is a good one. I really like this one a lot. In your life, we get people of all different ages here. What do you imagine your legacy will be in life? I've thought about that a lot. I don't know if anybody's thought about that, but when you get older and you get to the point where you're going to die and people look back on you after you're gone, what are people going to say about you? Does it really matter? But I mean, what is your legacy going to be in life? I mean, I hope my legacy paints me as being a decent person, a person that, certainly has convictions and stood his ground when he needed to, but but also a person that did good things in his life and tried to help people. So that's what Flying Ham is saying. Flying Ham is saying probably at his eulogy, when he is about to be put in the ground or whatever, if he gets cremated, they're going to talk about how he really did have a large penis. So I mean, that is a big part of the pie, and it was kind of funny. Now, all right, this is a story. Him just making that made me think of something. My father, I've talked about him. He has dementia. Okay. And he's a great guy. He repeats himself over and over and over again, tells the same stories, almost like in a loop. But I take him out and we do things. So we drive to the beach here, and Doss will know these beaches, and so will Snow Pro if he is still here. But we drive up to Hampton Beach and Salisbury Beach in Massachusetts. That was his stomping ground. He grew up in Amesbury. So there's a boat company called Eastman's that's located in Hampton, New Hampshire. And they take people out on fishing charters, on boat trips. Well, apparently, my father's 81. He went to school with one of the Eastmans that ran that business. And he was telling me the story the other day. He was telling me all about his high school football team. And he said, my father was like a really proper guy. He would never say this type of thing, when he was younger and, in right mind. So we're riding in the car and we drive by Eastman's. He goes, I used to go to high school with Eastman. He's told me that story 500 times. I'm like, oh, cool, Dad, really? He's like, yeah, he was on the football team. He was a small guy and he wasn't a very good football player. He was scrawny and everything like that, but all the girls really liked him. And I'm like, oh, really? Why did they like him, Dad? Handsome guy? And he goes, no, his nickname in school was Long Dong Eastman. I literally almost drove off the road. I could not imagine that coming out of my father's mouth. But when my father dropped that on me, now I can't get it out of my mind. So every day for the rest of my life, as I drive by Eastman's fishing place in Hampton, I'm going to remember the name of Long Dong Eastman as I drive by. So that came out of my father's mouth, and that was a little surprising. So, Hampton Beach. Hampton Beach is a great place. My family goes there all the time. I grew up going to Hampton Beach, and as a young teenager, I mean, I would spend hours on end walking the strip. Now, I was a weightlifter, a football player. So I would go there, of course, with my little shirt on and literally walk probably 10 miles just flexing the entire time I did it. I don't think it ever got me laid, but I did actually get lucky once in Hampton Beach. I won't go into that story today. That's when I was young. And that was actually a very interesting story. Maybe some other day on a late night show, I'll tell that story. But that was actually a really good story. Some woman from Canada I met, some young lady from Canada. It was a very interesting evening, but we'll leave that as it is for right now. Oh yes, Salisbury Beach. Now, Doss, how old are you? I don't remember how old you are. Salisbury Beach breaks my heart. I was up at Old Orchard Beach over the summer, and Salisbury Beach at one point was just like Old Orchard Beach, where it had literally like the amusement park on the water. You had roller coasters, you had haunted houses, you had the Himalaya, that spinning ride that goes really fast. And Salisbury Beach was such a cute, cool place when I was a kid. My grandmother would bring me there a lot. We'd play skee ball and video games and whatever. But they unfortunately tore down most of Salisbury Beach, and it's just not the same anymore. I still actually go with my dad, Dawes, and we go to the restaurant called the Sea Glass, which is in Salisbury. It's right on the water. It's just a beautiful restaurant. My dad likes going there. But yeah, that's my old stomping grounds, brother. I used to hang out in all those places. Old Orchard Beach, like I mentioned, I was there in August, and I thought it was nicer. Like, my wife used to go to school at the University of New England, and I think that's where my daughter might end up. So we were at Old Orchard Beach, and I hadn't been there in probably, I don't even know, like 15 years, maybe 20 years. I thought it looked nicer, like it had been kind of yuppied up a little bit, and it looked kind of nice. But hey, a little bit of news for all you guys, for my Maine people especially. My wife and I are looking at a house in Saco, so you never know. I could end up being a part-time resident in Saco, Maine. As I've told people, if you have never been to Maine, and I'm sorry to Snowpro for doing this, and for anybody else from Maine, make sure you go to Maine on a vacation. It's a beautiful state. You get it all. You get the lakes, you get the oceans, you get the mountains. You'll see a moose up in Rangeley every time you go. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful state. And if you can't afford to get to Alaska, then Maine is like the East Coast version of like a little mini Alaska. And it's true. Best people in the world in Maine, just salt of the earth, good people. Snowpro, the guy across the street from me here in Massachusetts, he grew up in Maine. He's got the big white beard going, and his name's Jay. Good guy, basketball player. He's like 6'6", tall guy. But he still loves Maine. He goes up all the time to go snowmobiling and stuff like that. So, yeah, I know. I've kind of screwed everybody in Maine, because Maine isn't always crazy about the mass holes that come up. Because, people from Massachusetts, and I grew up in New Hampshire, so I can say this. I've been in Mass for like 20 years now. But people in Massachusetts, in general, think they are better than everybody else. And when you go up to New Hampshire and you go up to Maine, and you've got these people that are up there treating the locals like shit, you can't really blame the locals for not liking people from Massachusetts. And then the people from Mass come in with all their money and buy the lakefront homes. I guess that's what I'm going to do if we come up and buy that house. So I guess I'm a typical masshole. But yeah, I mean, most of the visitors are pretty good, but some are kind of rude. But honestly, Snowpro, the Maine accent is my very favorite out of all of them. Doss, I see you ragging on that. I probably can't do it good, but I do try. Let's see if I can do it. I'm going to try the Maine accent. And if I fuck it up, I apologize. This is just off the cuff. So let's see. Yeah, you can't get there from here. It's not down there in Down East Maine. How's that? Is that bad? Yep. Yeah, I live up there in Bangor. Yeah, but you can't get to Portland from Bangor. I'm down in Down East Maine. That's probably not great, but I tried. I did the best I could. But the Maine accent is outstanding. It's literally one of my favorites. Yeah, not bad. I've done better, I think, in the past. Why do they sound like a broken computer talking software? You had a great uncle from Maine. Yeah, it's a beautiful state. Hey, remind me, everybody in here, if you could, just a quick one-word type into the chat. Where are you all from? I'm just kind of curious again where everybody's from. I'd just like to know what state you're from. So I know Eric, Georgia. And Eric, I forgot to tell you, call in, brother. You're welcome to call in anytime. I just forgot. So here we go. I apologize, buddy, for not including you in the show. So Arizona, Wisconsin. I've only been to Wisconsin once. Been to Milwaukee. I love Arizona. I've been to Phoenix, and I've been to Scottsdale. Of course, Mike. I love Tampa Bay. So rounding third. Oh, nice. You're in Maine now. What town are you guys in Maine? If you want to reveal it, I can't remember what town you're in. I forgot. I know you've told me before. Tulsa, nice. Oh, that's right. Okay, you guys are from Tulsa. Mr. T, what parts? Nice. Yeah, Maine's a great state. Have I been to Oklahoma? I don't think I have. I think I drove cross country once from California across country. I remember going through Nebraska. Did I go through Oklahoma? I might have. I can't remember, but I don't know. Whatever. So anyway, Eric, did you call in? I don't see you up there. Are you here? Oh, you might have dropped off. I saw him up there on the panel, and then he's gone. So you did it the right way, Doss. There you are, Eric. You were from Massachusetts, and now you spread herpes in Vermont. Yeah, Vermont, man. Hacky sacks and Grateful Dead and smoking dope, baby, up in Vermont. That's kind of what that state's known for. So, Eric, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Oh, there you go. I'm doing well. I thought it was me for a second. I thought.
Can you hear me?
I can. I thought I pulled the boomer move and didn't have my board right, but it looks like you're breaking up a little bit. So, what's going on with you, pal? I mean, have you seen any of these stories about Nicki Minaj and any of those things going on that we talked about?
I haven't really paid much attention to those.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of Republicans aren't paying close attention to this story because Nicki Minaj is on the left. But I'm telling you that she is coming out now against the left, and she is basically saying the media machine and the people at the top of the Democratic Party are controlling the people, and they're now trying to destroy her. She's got like 22 million followers on Instagram, and she is literally burying the left right now and burying the mainstream media. She was actually on. I think they talked about her on Tucker Carlson last night, and they interviewed her. So I'll tell you, if someone like Nicki Minaj were to switch over to the right, you'd see a lot of people that are fans of hers maybe switching over with her. So this could really be a turning point for maybe bringing some of the, as we've talked about, some of the African Americans over that, in my opinion, have been fucked over by the government for decades. So I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that the Democrats really haven't had their best interest at heart and have been taking advantage of people. So if you haven't seen it, you got to look up that story. And I mean, I'm not a fan of Nicki Minaj either, but I thought it was interesting to see that and to see what's kind of transpiring. If you follow Candace Owens, she did a live about it last night on Instagram. You can still look at that. So check it out on Candace Owens' Instagram. But so Eric, what are you doing for the rest of the week? What shows you on today?
Well, I know that, like with it being Thursday, I know Cummings, he could always do an impromptu show sometime today. And we know that Mike Tampa Bay could always do impromptu music shows and have friends call in. But prime time, I know you have the Beans and Weenie show, on
that
tonight.
Show is amazing. They are so damn funny. I don't know how Beans and Weenies on the morning drive show for some like major radio station in this country. They are hysterical. If you have not been into that show, get into the show. They are so damn funny. I was literally laughing out loud in my family room last night listening to them. Phenomenal show. Anyway, go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
Well, and then I think after you wrap up, Spanky will probably do like an impromptu with Spanky, but him and Scooter will have a flagship show later. And I think Q-Bell and Tuttle should be doing their show this evening as well. And Slightly will be on at the special time after Beans and Weenies.
What time is Q-Bella on? I don't think I've been in that.
Usually,
go ahead.
Usually it's also going to depend on how Tuttle's is feeling, but it would probably be in the prime time hours unless they decide to go on before Spanky and Scooter.
Now, hold on. I just thought of something. So Tuttle's and Q-Bella are on together. Now, Tuttle's is married to an ex-porn star, and Q-Bella is looking for another spouse or another boyfriend or another girlfriend or whatever. Now, Tuttle's, can't you hook her up? I mean, she says she likes medium to large, and you have connections into the porn industry. You could maybe find, Talk Hard, I don't know, maybe a guy that's kind of packing some heat, maybe a guy from Ecuador, who knows, so I don't know, it's something maybe we could work on. I'm sorry. So I'm trying to be funny, trying to make you laugh. I apologize. So anyway, go ahead, Eric.
Well, that's pretty much like the Thursday lineup, and then Ralph and the Old Man tomorrow morning as always. And I know Frankie D and The Swap Doesn't Lie are also on tomorrow afternoon. And Lady Mee's going to be doing a baby shower show for Poetic tomorrow evening.
Now, Poetic hasn't had the baby yet, right? I thought she had
She's due October 29th.
Good for her.
The baby's going to be a girl.
Nice. That's awesome. Now, this is her second child, if I remember right? Third child. Good. Oh, see, that's when it gets scary. When you have one, that's like the biggest change in your life because you're used to doing whatever you want, and then you have a baby that you have to take care of. 1 to 2 isn't bad because you're already shell-shocked from having a child. When you go from 2 to 3, then you're outnumbered. And you got 2 people chasing 3 people. And from that point, your life's a train wreck. So I don't want to say that in front of Poetic, but her life's about to change in a big way. So, but I'm sure she's ready for it. So that's good. So go ahead.
Well, I know like one, like some of the other happenings, like in the news, like one story I didn't get to touch on, like yesterday was that General Milley, he created quite a bit of controversy.
If you could talk about this a little bit, because this isn't something I have followed that closely. So explain to me what's going on there.
I think Bob Woodward is now coming out with a new book. Woodward and Bernstein fame.
Yes.
He the book, the tell-all book he's written, according to sources of his, is alleging that General Mark Milley went behind Trump's back to call China, saying something along the lines of, that he would give China heads up if Trump was to launch some kind of attack against China. Which, number one, I don't think Trump would stoop to the level of starting a war with China. And
oh, look at Lady Meee is here, and we literally didn't talk about politics for 50 minutes of the show because I know she doesn't like politics. You missed the whole segment on world penis size. We were talking about the smallest penises in the world and the largest penises in the world by country. Yeah. And in the last couple minutes, we're talking politics, and my buddy Lady Mee's coming in. But we were literally just talking about you saying you're throwing the shower for Poetic, which is awesome. So we're really happy that she's throwing that baby shower for Poetic, and Poetic's having another baby. So, So go ahead, Eric.
But and I even saw a story like this morning in my news feed before my morning podcast that you've also got another military general doing damage control, saying that Mark Milley did nothing improper, which I really seem to have a hard time believing that, because it's apparent that they wanted Trump out of the picture, but I think we're starting to see a trend where you're going to probably see a lot of high-ranking politicians and powerful people starting to turn on each other because they don't have their boogeyman Donald Trump anymore.
Hold on. Talk hard. Where's my laughter? I just saw your comment down in the chat because we were doing a whole show about penis size earlier, and I think someone mentioned that China isn't even on the list. So Talk Hard said they probably have innies, so kind of like an innie.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, innie penises. How about like North Korea also? Could you imagine Kim Jong-un? I bet you Kim Jong-un is not packing. Kim Jong-un has probably got an inch or two if he's lucky. So I think that's another country that did make the list. But again, in North Korea, I can't imagine. But I guess in North Korea, though, if they tell you we're going to measure your penis, they're going to measure your penis. You can't say no, right? So anyway, I'm sorry that comment just struck me funny, Eric. But go ahead.
Well, and I'm sure if Jeremy does the show, I'm sure he's going to have plenty to say about that topic.
Yeah, hopefully he does. I haven't been on one of Jeremy's show for a while. But listen, Eric, why don't you round out some of the shows? I'm in about an hour. I got to get back to work. But if you could maybe run off some of the shows.
Well,
this has been a funny show. I hope you guys all enjoyed it.
Well, like I said, you've got some great shows coming up today and this weekend. So be on lookout, of course, for Milk Dog. Be on lookout for Spanky to do his lunchtime impromptu show. And then Mike Tampa Bay and Cummings is cultured to have their impromptu shows anytime today. And don't forget Ziller and Kane and Elgato is going to do a show at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. Don't know if his ears are burning. The Beans and Weenie show and Talk Hard in prime time, and the Slightly Serious show will follow the Beans and Weenie show. And then tomorrow morning you got Ralph and the Old Man as always, and hopefully you might fit in a show tomorrow. And
the plan is I'm hoping to be back on a regular schedule. My work is back in effect. My kids are off in school. The summer's just pandemonium for my family, and I just can't do it. Lady Mee, I've been doing really well. I hope you are as well. Now, Lady Mee, let me ask you this really quickly before we get off today. Did I hear somewhere, because I haven't been on many shows, I'm getting back into it now. Was your husband sick? Did he have COVID, Eric? Do you know if that's the case?
It was her ex-husband. I don't know how he's doing or if she can provide us an update.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay. I don't mean to pry in your personal business, but someone did tell me. So is he okay? Hopefully he recovered and all. Oh, good. You're going to call in. So I think that you did it on purpose. I'll let you come in if you like. So, Lady Mee, how you doing?
What did I do on purpose, John? What?
Oh, did you call in on purpose? Yeah, well, sometimes I have people call in and it's by accident. They tell me they hit the button with their fingers by mistake. So I didn't know if you called in purposely or if it was just a slip of the finger.
No, I did. Okay. No, he's fine. Well, he's a lot better. He's been about almost 4 weeks.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been about 4 weeks. But he's home now and he's recovering. His lungs are pretty messed up, so it's going to take him a while to recover.
Wow.
But he's on I think about a liter of oxygen, and it's only when he needs it, when he gets winded. But he's doing good. He's doing well.
Now, what are you seeing right now with COVID? I know my wife is saying that the Delta variant's nasty. What are you seeing?
My wife, hold on. Hello? Okay. Yeah. Our numbers here at the hospital they've been pretty stable for the last month, I would say. But getting any worse. It's not getting Yeah, it's been okay. I mean, in the beginning of July, it got really bad for a while. I mean, our ICU was full all the time, but
Yeah.
things are it's stabilizing, I think. And then
I hope so.
Oh,
Oh, you still there? Did we lose you?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
I'm
now I was
here.
gonna say,
Can you
I
hear me?
hope so too. I mean, I'm so I know we all feel the same way. We're all so done with COVID, and but it just seems like this is going to be never ending, and it's probably going to be with us for quite some time. So hopefully, we can
Right.
find a way as a society to live with this. We're going to have to. It's not going away anytime soon.
Right. I don't believe it either. How's your wife? Did she good? She's been safe.
She's been safe. She was a little concerned about a week ago because she came home, she didn't feel well, and she was wondering if maybe because she had been exposed to someone that did have the Delta variant. But they dress her up pretty good, like I'm sure you know, and she's covered pretty
Mm-hmm.
well. She's vaccinated, so she did get a test and she was negative. But she and I think about things a little bit differently sometimes. And obviously, she's the brains of the operation here in my house. But I mean, she's honestly concerned. I mean, for the people out there, me, I don't push anything on anybody. But she believes that the Delta variant is very dangerous. It's very contagious. Her feeling is people should get vaccinated. We did make that decision as a family, and we all got vaccinated. I still feel
Right.
though that our government has absolutely no right to tell people to get vaccinated or force them to do so. But I mean, for me, the right decision was to do it. And all I can say to people out there, if you're on the fence, not to say that this is a guarantee, but none of the people in my family, myself, my wife, my 4 children, none of us had side effects. My wife and I got Moderna. My 4 children got Pfizer, and we've all been, okay. So if anyone decides to do it, hopefully you have the same experience that we did. I mean, what are your feelings on vaccinations, Lady Mead? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think people shouldn't be doing it? What is your feeling?
John, I was the same way. I was totally against it for the longest time. They got rough here with us at the hospital, so we all had to be vaccinated by September 30th, or
Yeah.
else October 1st, we're going on administrative leave. But when my ex husband was in the hospital, I mean, we brought him here. We brought him to my hospital because I knew the doctors. I knew what we could, the care that he was going to be taking. So when I saw my kids go through what they were going through with their dad, because he was on the ventilator for about 6 or 7 days,
Wow.
it was rough. It
Holy
was rough, and
crap.
I wasn't vaccinated at the time, and I was fighting it the whole time too. But when I saw them and saw what they were going through, it was tough. And I just thought, a lot of my doctor friends kept saying, what if it was both of you? Because a lot of times, both parents are in the hospital, and I couldn't do that to my kids. I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm exposed every day being here in the hospital. So I said, I gave in. I gave in, and I did. I got vaccinated. I got my second dose about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't have any side effects either. Like you're saying, I had a little headache maybe the day two, but that was it. So all my older kids admitted their dads. Well, actually, no, they got vaccinated before their dad did. So all my older children are vaccinated already. My two 16-year-olds, one of them got it when his dad had it. So he has to wait, but my second 16-year-old will be getting vaccinated sometime this week
Well,
because
I think it's important. I mean, I think we all have experiences. Oh, and actually, I gotta hang this up. It's my wife. If I answered the phone, she'd actually be on the show, and she wouldn't be happy with me. So
she's
she
not
she
going to be
doesn't
happy
love
with
being
you.
on. She does it occasionally, but I think I see Mike saying in there he would refuse forcibly, and you know what? That's your right as an American. It's a free country.
Right.
You're a young, healthy guy. Hopefully, if you get it, it won't be anything serious. I don't want to. I'm not one of those people that thinks, well, geez, you didn't get your vaccination. I hope you end up on a ventilator. That's a horrible thing to say, and people say things like that. I mean, I don't want to see
Exactly.
anybody get sick, but it must have been very, very scary to see your ex on that ventilator because I was going to read a news story yesterday and I had it ready and I decided not to read it because it kind of bummed me out and I didn't want to bum people out. But there was a story, I'm not sure where it was, but both parents died of COVID. And I think they had 4 children. They had just had a baby and they didn't even have the chance to name their baby. And now all 4 of these children do not have, there goes my wife again. Let me shut her off.
you,
Sorry, honey.
I read that too. I read that too. I think it was somewhere here in California, to tell you the truth. I
It may
think
have
it
been. I
was.
mean, when you see things like
Right.
that, that's just terrifying and scary.
It is. It is. And Mike, you can get it again. I had it twice. So I mean, even though you have the antibodies, doesn't mean that you can. And the antibodies are wearing off. That's why people have to get these boosters they're talking about. So just
Right.
because you have the antibodies doesn't mean you're not going to get it again. And the strains are changing every day. So
They are. And after Delta, there's going to be another one, and there's going to be another one. These strains are going to keep coming. So this is going to be something we have to get used to. I got to say, the other day I had like a little mini panic attack. The day we dropped my son off for college, Matt, we went to the local grocery store around the corner, my wife and I was literally the only person in there not wearing a mask because I hate masks, and I'm kind of still, drawing a line in the sand that I won't wear them unless I'm in a hospital or whatever. But I remember I was like the only person in there not wearing a mask. My wife had her or N95, whatever the hell it is. And I remember I left. I said, hey, do you mind if I go sit in the car? And I said I wanted to check emails, but the real reason I was going to the car is I had like a little panic attack over being in that store and everybody had masks on. It really bothered me, and I don't know, man. This has just been such a crazy time. But I'm really glad to hear your ex-husband's okay. I mean, even though you guys are, exes, he's still the father of your children. And
for sure.
All that stuff,
sure.
right?
Yeah, I had a hard time. Don't get me wrong. I had a hard time because it's rough. I mean, he's the father of my 7 kids, so it's tough.
It is. Wait, tell us before I shut this thing down. Tell us a little bit about the shower you're throwing for Poetic. I think that's outstanding. Tell if there's some people in here that don't come into your show, or whatever. Let them know what's going on.
Right. Well, Poe's been around for a long time. She's one of the OG Podbeaners, and she's amazing. And she's starting off fresh again. She hasn't her children are older, so this is like brand new start for her. So I just thought, let's support her. And I mean, like I said, I put her Amazon baby registry and the link is there. I mean, she has a PayPal or she has a Cash App if you want to donate directly to her. But I think, just celebrate life. Come on. There's been so much rough stuff around here. Let's just celebrate life.
I think we all need
And she's amazing. She deserves it. So.
Yeah, I think we all need to do that. Celebrating life is something that I think over the last year and a half, some of us have forgotten how to do. And even though we're going through this pandemic altogether, and the good thing is, I mean, for me, I wouldn't have met any of you if it hadn't been for the pandemic and Podbean, because I probably wouldn't be here. And this was something to keep me busy during the pandemic, like I'm sure a lot of you as well. And now we've kind of formed these friendships and relationships with everybody. But you're right. Hopefully we can all find a way to come together and just celebrate life and enjoy yourself, because I know some of the people in here are 20s, 30s, 40s. Here I am, man. I'm 53. Before you know it, you're going to be my age. You're going to be 60s. You're going to be beyond. And this life goes by quick. Enjoy as much time as you can. You look at the old man. He's in his, what is he, Eric? Is he mid-60s, I think?
He's 68.
Is he 68?
Donald Wayne is 72.
Is he really? I didn't know that. Wow. It goes by quick, everybody. Enjoy yourself.
I turned a big 50.
Really? Oh, when's that going to
be? Dennis Lee turned 50 earlier this year. And then Laura will be 50. Laura will be 50 later this year.
When you turn 50, lady, I didn't hear you.
I turned July 28th.
Oh, so you already turned 50?
I turned 50, yes, I did.
Happy 50th birthday. How does it feel to be 50?
Thank you. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I don't feel 50, so.
No, for me, it was funny. I remember the one thing about 50 that kind of made me laugh a little bit to myself was, I have no problem being in my 50s. I'm happy mentally where I am in my life right now. In my 20s, there were a lot of insecurities. Those kind of dribbled into my 30s. My 40s, I think I started to feel better about myself as a person. But then you get all the stress of your children when they're being young, for me anyway, because I didn't get married till I was 33. But I think finally now in my 50s, I finally maybe found my stride a little bit. I'm confident in myself. I'm happy with who I am despite the negatives, I have, or the shortcomings that I have in my life. But the one thing I remember laughing about being 50 is, when you hit 50, you can't anymore really pretend that you're still young. When you're in your 30s, well, I'm still young. I was just in my 20s. 40s, same thing. 40s is the new 30. When you get 50, that's kind of a big number. And even though I feel young, I'm still 53 now. So it's one of those things where I laughed about that. I'm like, oh, it's going to be hard to kind of justify being young at 50. But if anything, I'm very immature and mentally.
I hear you. I'm right there with you.
That's why we're okay, right? Oh, my God. Hey, this is going Ghost. You're about to get a motorcycle. I'm 51. Dude, last year, for my 52nd birthday, I got a Corvette convertible. It's old. It's a 2004 black Corvette convertible. It only had 45,000 miles on it. It's in beautiful shape. $14,000, but I love driving this thing like you wouldn't believe. And, same thing. Yeah, everyone laughs. It's your midlife crisis mobile. I'm like, no, it's not. I wanted one of these when I was 16. I just didn't have any money to buy one. So now I get a little bit of extra money, and I finally got my convertible. So enjoy your motorcycle and just be careful. When you get it, motorcycles can be dangerous, like everything can be, but you can't go through your life being afraid of everything. So Eric and Lady Meee, I do need to get back to work. So Eric, have you rounded up all the shows that you have?
Well, and then of course prime time, Friday evening, like I said, Lady Meee is doing the baby shower for Poetic, and we probably anticipate plenty of friends showing up for that. And you've also got the Old Man's Friday Night Music show, and then you also have dude Sean, and you also have a few the It's Doomsday podcast and a few other friends over the weekend, and yes, I already mentioned Elgato coming on at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. That just about rounds up all the Podbean friends I can think of, and then Crazy Train she'll probably be on throughout the weekend as well.
All right, and I will, unless something comes up for work tomorrow, I'll be on again at 11:30 tomorrow, so I hope you guys all come back, and I get to come up with funny things on the show tomorrow. So today we talked about penis size. We got through that, and we'll have to come up with something good for tomorrow. I know that Q Bella kept saying nipple size. I'm not sure if I can find a list on that, but if so, I will look. If I can find one, I'll pull it out of my hat for tomorrow. All right, everybody.
Well, Spanky is on right now.
Okay, yeah, if Spanky's on, you guys got to get over there. Great show. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming on. Lady Meee and Eric, thank you for joining me. Take care, guys.
See you later, buddy. Love you. God bless.
Bye, guys.